We waited 7 months for some of these paint matched parts to come in. We're gonna delete a lot more black off of Ryan's Jeep. Let's get started. All right, guys, so the first thing, we'll pull one out of the 25 boxes I've got laid out. Brian from Distinction Applied actually paint matched a set of Rubicon Highline fender flares for Ryan's Jeep. Now, he did them in Anvil here, and as you can see, they already are separated here in the two pieces. He does this to paint them. So when he paints them, he actually pulls them apart from the two pieces so he can ensure that he gets a great line along the edges. But there's a lot of reasons why we decided to go with this. Not only were these like one of the only sets in existence in the country, so it actually took Ryan, it was like, what, 6 months? 5-6 months for him to even get these in hand as the paintable ones. And then he had to paint them up in his shop and ship them to us in a giant pallet that actually came up to my doorstep here. But we want to delete the stock fender flares off of Ryan's Jeep because honestly, it's probably one of the worst things on your Jeep at this point, bro. I got to tell you that. Like, you got motobuilt bumpers, you got custom grille, lift, wheels, tires, lights, and then you have like these dorky stock sport fender flares. I mean, pan over to my Jeep, the 392 there. Look at how good that looks with the 392 fender flares, all color matched like that. That's what you're going to have today. And for a lot of guys that keep going, well, why didn't you just start off with a Rubicon? It would have been cheaper. Well, in a grand scheme of things, maybe it would have been cheaper by like your monthly payment. Like, you wouldn't have to spend money on parts like this, but you didn't want to go with a Rubicon. You wanted to go with a base sport so you could do all these modifications. The whole point of this channel is to go out and enjoy your Jeep the way you want to. Go out, earn some dirt road cred, have some fun on the trails, but just build the Jeep the way you want to. So in today's video, we're gonna throw these on first. We're gonna delete these stock sport fenders. And as you can tell, these are kind of already pre-chopped. So we've got a second part of this video coming. But today we're gonna add on these, show you how to get some of it done here, and then add a couple more color match parts to delete some more black off of this Jeep. So obviously there are a lot of perks going from these fenders to the factory Rubicon style painted fender flares. The biggest thing with this is you're going to increase your clearance by an exponential amount. I would dare to say that it's about 2.5 to 3 inches of clearance when you raise it up. And then with ours, we actually are going to be doing a fender chop, and we'll show you that towards the end. You get an incredible, even more amount of clearance when you decide to do that. Second thing is these plastic fenders do fade very, very badly. You can already see they're already spotting on here. We didn't even have Kevin down at KMG Detailing even ceramic coat these because we knew we were going to rip them off. But what's nice about getting the Rubicon fenders is it kind of alleviates this black that we have on this rig. A lot of the parts of this rig we've already kind of color matched and removed some of this flat black, and this will be just a good iteration of how to remove that here, and then also get some added clearance, get some added benefits. And who doesn't like a paint matched fender flare? So we're going to show you a little bit of how to get these off. The only thing you have to do at the front is just remove a couple 10mm bolts and then some push pins, or one push pin, and then the back is all push pins, and you just got to grab on it and rip it. So you're only really going to need a 10mm socket to remove any of these bolts on the front end. There's 2. There's 3. And if you are swapping over your inner fender flares, or you're going to be bolting all this structure back up, make sure you remember where each bolt came from, because they are different lengths. Fortunately for us, we don't have to put it back. And just one large push pin up front. And we're going to try not to break all the clips when we do this, but really there's no quick way of doing this. Or there is no long way or a way to do this really with finesse. You got to just kind of rip the whole fender off. The one thing you want to be mindful of is the connector here for your front turn signals right about here. Disconnect that off of the bottom before you go completely ripping this off. But ready for this, Ryan? I love doing this on Jeeps. Oh, gets me every time. I just love doing it. Disconnect your fender flare wiring. See that right here? Ryan's actually got, remember this is the one that was super hard to get to back here. Remember that one, Ryan?
Yeah, I do.
That you could never reach. But set this aside and you see how I think we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clips that are good. I like to save these. If not, Ryan, what we'll do, we'll drop a link down below in the description. You can buy these on Amazon or like a really good deal instead of going to your Mopar dealer. If you're going to do a fender flare video, probably pick up some of these in the rivets first before you, not if you're going to do a video, or if maybe you do a video, if you're going to do fender flares, pick up some of these first before you rip this off and then go, oh shoot. So to pull these off, guys, they're kind of like 2-edged clips. I'm going to get underneath both sides. So see that? They kind of clip in there. But you can save these, like any ones that are good, just save them. The broken ones like this, they're obviously trash, but the rest, yeah, save them. I put them in my pocket until the end and then see if we need any more. So the back just has push pins. My goodness, are they not fun. They almost all the time break, or they are like kind of flimsy too, so they don't really come out too nice. We're gonna do our best to not break them, but in reality it doesn't matter because we're not gonna be reusing them. So in all reality, I probably could just take a pair of snips. But see, yeah, look at that, the heads just pop off. See that, Ryan? It just broke right off. The head of the push pin. So I would say if you're gonna swap your inner fenders back on with Rubicon ones, get some push pins from Harbor Freight, because see, they break. See that? That one broke. See, broke. Let's rip it. Yeah. Oh, did I forget one? No. Ryan, you're gonna be sweeping my driveway after this. All right, guys, so we got just a little bit of Adams polish here. We're just gonna clean up everywhere where the new fenders are gonna sit. Give it a good coating here. And just clean this all up. It's got a lot of debris on here. So you wanna do that before you get your new fenders on, because you don't really have access to here too easily. So we don't need the inner bracketry, because we're not gonna use it, but that's in a sense what a fender chop would be, just Brian made it quicker for us. Thanks, Brian. So all I got to do with these is basically line them up to the holes and insert them. If you're just doing a fender chop style like that, that's what we're going with. If not, it's the exact same process as taking the old ones off. So it's just lining these up. I like to go underneath just to make sure I'm in the right spot. Excuse you, Ryan. Sorry. And then just pushing those clips back in. Sweet. And we'll get an X-Acto blade, and you see this stuff, Ryan? Yeah. Actually, I might even be able to just... I'll get a blade, though, and cut it off nice. These are just the clips, but... They just pop off. That's what goes into the second part of your fender, like this part of mine. Like the black section. Ah, yeah. So that's how it clips in. When you do a chop, you don't need those. That looks birdy, dude. Let's put the rear one on. We gotta get you inner fenders also. So we'll get you some inner fenders too. Same for the rear. Just line them up.
So much better, dude.
It's kind of night and day. Yeah. Look at how much more clearance you have too. We'll trim all these off. I like to do that, and then you'll be able to get kind of a good view. Got a fresh blade here. Should be able to peel these right off. Guys, let's just talk about it. This is a night and day difference going from those stock sport fenders to these Rubicon fender flares. What do you guys think? Drop a comment below. Let us know what you think about these flares. Honestly, I think they look terrific on this two-door. Look at how much more clearance we have in this here. The biggest thing though with this and actually doing a fender chop, say you already have a Rubicon, is how much of these inner guts you remove. So like you've got all that gone to really jam your tire up into here. I mean, just look at mine right here, Ryan, right next to it. Like, all right, so there's my Yeti. I've got it, and it's just going to the guts right there, right? I've got a 3.5 inch lift on 40s. Now let's put the same Yeti over here. Look at how much more clearance you have.
Yeah.
Than my Jeep on 3.5 inches of lift. You have 1.5 inches, and I can still put my hand that far in.
35s.
Pretty incredible there. You could easily run 37s on here and have plenty of clearance. This is a good way too if you want to go stay lower on your lift kit height, but go to a bigger tire. Do the chop like this. That's the reason they went with a highline fender on the Rubicon, so you would get more clearance, but with the chop you gain even more. So with that being said, we do have the fender light coming. We've got that in the mail right now. And then we also got inner fenders coming, so that'll be part 2 of this video. This one we just wanted to get these on, show you how to install them, and then throw on some other goodies. We got to run over to the shop, grab those parts, and throw some more on. So we had to make a quick detour here, but we were thinking now that we have the color match fenders on, Brian had sent us some parts that I think are really gonna match even better from Distinction Applied and get rid of the black that's right next to the fender. So let's walk up, I got a part in this bag, and we'll show you what we're gonna be matching next. So if you look at this, everything is now either Anvil Gold, all matching on there. Not really too much black. Well, in here, got a brand new piece for you. Brian paint matches the actual gold fender vent trim. Now I grabbed the wrong side, of course, but you guys can see what that would look like compared to the black on there. So I really think that this is going to give a good accent, tie into the gold here, into the gold in the Jeep logo, the little gold in the Wrangler decal on the back. So we're going to use our non-marring tool that came in our Jeep toolkit and get underneath the stock fender vent and just kind of pull. So these two tabs have to pop out, and then there's like 3 little ones underneath here. Okay, just like that, and that's actually how I can see it as a 2-piece. Look, pops right off. And then these, great, all these stayed. All these need to go, so these actually go onto the factory fender. These need to pop out because the one that Brian has already has them. So you can use the same trim removal tool and try and get under there. Maybe. Now we can swap over our gold painted piece from Distinction Applied. Gotta have to pull the fender out a little bit, and what I noticed was it almost looks like you have to shove that under. There you go. And there's alignment pins. There you go. Pretty quick swap, actually. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. I think it's a perfect accent piece to the side of this. I do think you need to get a new hood after we're all said and done, though. You got to get a new hood on this Jeep.
And a tan soft top.
And a tan soft top. If anyone has a tan 2-door Mopar soft top, drop it down in the comments. But we got one more piece. Let's swap that out here. And it is going to be your hood latch. So we got some gold painted ones. We're gonna see how those look. I think they're gonna look pretty trick. Some people don't, but we're just trying to accent and give some more gold on this Jeep. So let's go ahead and grab our 13mm box wrench. I think that's what it is, and we'll pull this one off. So it is a 13mm box wrench. You just have to get the nut off the back, and then your hood latch should pop off. Try not. There you go. So that'll drop off there. The only thing you need to keep is the nut. So this is actual with a captured washer on it. So keep this. So here's kind of the before and the after. Check it out. Fully painted in the 392 bronze, or gold as they say. All you're gonna do to swap this over is basically set your old one aside and align these pins up and that stud. And then very carefully, without dropping the nut, actually just put the nut on first before it goes on. And just use that same 13mm box wrench to tighten it up on the back. These are two pretty, I don't know, Ryan, these are two pretty quick exterior mods too. So we'll just get this tightened up and we'll show you how it looks when the hood closes. On today's viewer rig of the video, we're checking out Paul's 2016 Jeep Wrangler JK. He's got a 3¼ inch lift riding on 35-inch tires with with the Quadratec Recon wheels. He's also got a Mopar style metal front bumper with the same winch Ryan has, the Badlands 12,500 pound winch. He's got a Red Rock spare tire carrier and a Quadratec axleback exhaust. He didn't want to go too big with the Jeep, and he wanted to make it look like a 70s CJ7, just like he remembers when he was a kid. Paul, a beautiful 2-door, and thank you so much for submitting. If you guys want to have a chance at your rig being featured, be sure to hit us up through Instagram or send us an email. Close your hood. Custom painted now. Look at this Jeep. You could almost consider this like 3 fender mods today. Like how to do 3 fender mods. We got, because that bolts to the fender, that's to the fender, and these are new fenders. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys think about this. We really like the paint match products from Distinction Applied. He does an absolutely fantastic job down there. We have some more content coming for these fenders, including some inner fenders that we're actually going to order too. So we will button all that up. We figured we'd break it up into 2 pieces just for time's sake, and also to make it kind of more relevant when we do both of this, when we do the chop and the inner fenders. But let us know down below in the comments, and if you guys would not mind, go over and support our boys at Distinction Applied too. They do a fantastic job. You guys will see them at New Jersey Jeep Invasion coming up in a few weeks. We will be there as well. You'll see them at Tennessee, all over the place. They're always bringing their trailer out, and we love hanging out with those guys. Until next time though, we had a ton of fun installing some new fender flares on Ryan's Jeep, and I think it turned out fantastic. My name is Matt with Dirt Road Cred. Ryan's behind the camera, and we want you to get out there and earn yours.